What if I told you that the most dangerous trap for a woman over the age of 60 isn't a slippery bathtub or a weak heart or even a son with a smart home tracking application? What if I told you the most dangerous thing you can do right now is listen to society when it tells you to go out and find a nice man to keep you company? Hello again, it's just me. I'm sitting here in my favorite armchair by the window of my drafty little apartment. The room's sitting at a glorious unmonitored 70 no sensors, no alerts, just peace. I went out to the local market this morning. I told you I might buy myself a single expensive peach, and I did. It's sitting on a small ceramic plate on my kitchen counter right now, looking like a little piece of sunrise. It cost $4, which is ridiculous for a piece of fruit, but I didn't have to justify the expense to a single living soul. It was wonderful. But while I was standing in the checkout line, holding my peach, I ran into someone from my old life in Ohio. It was Brenda. Brenda's 72 years old. She wears far too much floral print. She dyes her hair, a color that doesn't exist in nature, and she's been widowed for 5 years. Brenda looked at me like I was a ghost. She'd heard through the family grapevine about my great escape from David's luxury basement. She leaned in close, right past the display of peppermint chewing gum, and she looked at me with this terrible, suffocating pity. She whispered, "You know, you wouldn't have to live in some old apartment all by yourself if you just got back out there. You should try online dating. You're still vibrant. You shouldn't be alone at your age. You need a companion." I looked at Brenda's shopping basket. She was buying 2 boxes of sugar-free oatmeal cookies and a large bottle of joint supplement pills. I asked her who the cookies were for because I happen to know Brenda has a sweet tooth and hates oatmeal. She blushed like a schoolgirl. She told me she met a man named Harold on the internet. Oh, Harold's 79. Harold has a nice pension, but he has a bad hip and he can't stand at the stove for very long. So Brenda's been going over to Harold's house every single afternoon to cook him a hot meal. They've been dating for exactly 3 weeks, and she's already buying his vitamins and baking for his dietary restrictions. She told me it was nice to be needed again. I looked at her. I looked at my peach, and I just had to laugh. I told Brenda I didn't pull the plug on a $5,000 wireless router and sneak out of a smart house in the middle of the night just to go become someone's unpaid caregiver. I want to talk to you today about a very specific, very poisonous lie we're sold as we get older. The lie is that a woman alone is a tragedy waiting to happen. The lie is that we're somehow incomplete without a partner, and that our highest goal should be finding someone to sit next to us on the couch while we watch the evening news. Let me be brutally honest with you. I was a head nurse in an emergency room trauma ward for 35 years. I managed schedules. I managed budgets in the millions of dollars, and I kept a cool head when everything around me was absolute chaos. I've seen exactly what happens when people age. I know the human body better than most, and I can tell you right now with absolute certainty that most men looking for a relationship in their late 60s, 70s, and 80s aren't looking for a grand, sweeping romance. They aren't looking for someone to walk on the beach with them at sunset and talk about poetry. They're looking for a nurse with a driver's license. They're looking for someone to remind them to take their blood pressure medication. They're looking for someone to cook low-sodium meals because their doctor told them to watch their heart. They're looking for someone to listen to them, complain about their aching knees, manage their complex calendar of doctor appointments, and wash their socks. They want a mother unit, just like my son David did. They just want one that shares their bed and pays half the grocery bill. I loved my husband Arthur. I loved him fiercely. He was a good, kind man with a laugh that could fill up an entire house. When his heart started failing, I nursed him, I bathed him, I fed him, I held him when he was terrified of the dark. I listened to the rhythmic wheezing of his oxygen machine night after night. I gave him every single ounce of energy, devotion, and physical strength I had in my body until the day he passed away at 42 years old. I did it out of profound, earth-shattering love. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, and I'd do it again for him in a heartbeat. But it broke me in places that took decades to heal. My caregiving reserves are completely, permanently empty. I spent my entire career keeping critically injured patients alive. I spent my 30s and 40s raising 3 very loud teenagers. I spent my recent months being managed by a plastic cylinder that yelled at me to take my daily vitamins. I've spent my entire life accommodating the needs, the schedules, the emotional baggage, and the physical bodies of other people. My shift is over. The hospital is closed and the mother unit is permanently off duty. I'm 78 years old. My knees crack when I walk up the stairs, and my time is finally completely my own. I'm not going to trade my beautiful, hard-won solitude to go manage another man's cholesterol levels just so I can say I have a date on Saturday night. There's a brilliant woman named Margaret who recently shared her own story on the internet, and it made me think so deeply about this trap we fall into. Margaret's 83. She realized that as she got older, she was shrinking. She was apologizing for her own opinions. She was making herself smaller so her adult children wouldn't be uncomfortable. We do this with our kids, yes. We bite our tongues so we don't seem difficult. But women are practically trained from birth to do this with men. If you bring a man into your life at this stage, I want you to watch how quickly the shrinking begins again. It happens so quietly, so insidiously, you'll barely even notice it happening. First, you start eating dinner at 5:30 in the afternoon instead of 7 because his digestion acts up if he eats too late in the evening. Then, you stop watching the television programs you actually like because he prefers loud history documentaries about the Second World War that give you a headache. Then, you stop playing your favorite music in the living room. You stop taking up space on the bathroom counter because his shaving cream and his 6 different medicated lotions need room. And eventually, you start tiptoeing around your own house so you don't wake him from his afternoon nap. You compromise. You bend. You accommodate. You slice away tiny pieces of your own comfort and hand them over to him because society taught you that this is what love is. You think being a good companion means never causing friction. You think keeping a man around is worth the price of your own voice. But do you remember what I said about David's smart house? It was designed to be completely frictionless. It was a perfectly managed environment where I never had to lift a finger, but I was stripped of all my agency, and it almost killed my soul. Dating at this age is often just another version of the smart house. It looks comforting on the outside, but inside, you're just managing someone else's peace of mind while quietly losing your own. Right now, in this slightly crooked apartment with the drafty windows, I'm a giant. I take up all the space. If I want to wake up at 3 in the morning and pace the hardwood floor in my heavy wool sweaters, I do it. There's no one to ask me what I'm doing. There's no one to sigh loudly from the bed and ask me to turn the hallway light off. If I had a boyfriend right now, do you know what he'd do? He'd walk over to my beautiful manual thermostat, the one I control with my own 2 hands, and he'd turn it down to 68 degrees to save a few dollars on the heating bill. He'd look at me, shivering, in my own living room, and he'd tell me to put on a pair of thick socks, just like David did, because men, whether they're your successful sons or your romantic partners, often believe they know what's best for your environment better than you do. They think their comfort is the baseline and your comfort is an optional luxury. I refuse to hand over the keys to my environment ever again. When you invite a man into your life at this age, you're inviting his opinions, his habits, and his expectations into your sanctuary. You're giving up the one thing that makes getting older actually wonderful, which is the absolute freedom to be completely unapologetically selfish. People like Brenda think that solitude is the exact same thing as loneliness. I talked about this before, but it's so important it bears repeating. Loneliness is sitting in a crowded room and feeling completely invisible. Loneliness is sitting across a dinner table from a husband who hasn't really listened to a word you've said in 10 years. Loneliness is being a data point on your son's mobile application. Solitude is a luxury. Solitude is the quiet breathing space where you finally get to meet the person you became while you were busy taking care of everyone else. I'm just getting to know this 78-year-old version of myself. I like her. I really do. She's a bit cranky. She loves having the thermostat exactly where she wants it, and she completely refuses to eat burnt toast anymore. She likes the sound of the city traffic humming outside the window. She likes reading a book for 4 hours straight without someone asking her what's for lunch. I don't want to distract myself from her by going on stale coffee dates with men who just want me to admire their golf handicap and pretend their jokes are funny. I had a voicemail from David yesterday. He's back from his conference in London. He sounded exhausted. He didn't yell this time. His anger has burned out into a sort of confused defeat. He just asked, "Mom, why are you doing this? We had everything set up for you. We made it so easy. We built you a beautiful space." I didn't call him back yet. I will eventually, but not today, because the truth is, I don't want easy. I want real. And real life is messy. It's unmanaged. It's entirely mine. David thought a luxury basement was the answer. Brenda thinks a man named Harold with a bad hip is the answer. They're both looking for security. They're both terrified of the void, but the void isn't empty. The void is where your freedom lives. So, to all the women watching this right now, the ones who are widows, the ones who are divorced, the ones who finally found a quiet corner of the world to call their very own, listen to me very carefully. When society tells you that you need to get back out there, when your well-meaning friends try to set you up on blind dates because they pity your empty house, when your children gently suggest that maybe you'd be safer if you had a nice gentleman friend around, politely, firmly decline. Don't fall into the quaintness trap of believing you need a man to validate your existence in the 21st century. Your worth isn't measured by whether or not there's a pair of men's shoes sitting by your front door. Your worth is inherent. You earned your stripes. You survived the brutal trenches of raising families, building careers, stretching tight budgets, and navigating decades of a world that constantly asked you to be quiet and make yourself small. You've already paid your dues to the institution of caregiving. The debt is settled. The account is closed. Hold on to your peace with both hands. Go to the market and buy the ridiculously expensive peach. Open your windows wide and let the breeze blow the dust around. Plant tomatoes in your garden, even if they're too much work. Set the thermostat to whatever temperature makes your old bones feel warm and safe. And whatever you do, don't trade your magnificent hard-won freedom for the job title of a nurse with a driver's license. I'm going to go eat my peach now. I'm going to stand at my kitchen counter, look out at the city, and eat it in complete, beautiful silence. It's going to be glorious. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me. If my words hit home for you today, leave a comment down below. Tell me about the things you're enjoying right now that you don't have to compromise for anyone else. Tell me what temperature you keep your house at. Please share this video with a friend who might need a reminder of her own power, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep having these honest conversations. Stay strong out there, stay selfish, and keep the music thermostat exactly where you want it. Goodbye for now.